Okay, hi everybody and welcome to the February meeting of Culture, Tourism and Finance with Mumbles Community Council. So I'm just going to get my agenda up now. And the first thing, Ian, is are there any apologies?
I've got apologies from Councillor Jarvis, and I believe Councillor Parkin is away as well.
Yes, that's right.
So for those two definitely.
Yeah, they're both on holiday.
Yes.
Right, I wasn't sure about Mickey, but I knew Richard is in India, so it'll be a bit hard for him to come in. Okay, any declarations of interest, anybody?
No.
No? Brilliant. Okay, so would somebody like to approve the minutes of the January meeting that was on the 24th of January?
I think I can do that. I was there, I think.
You were? Anybody like to second that?
After that.
Yeah, I can.
Brilliant, thank you. Okay, do you want to just go through the action points briefly?
Yes, there aren't that many, to be honest with you. And I'm not going through the ones, if you don't mind, where I haven't had an update off Claire, for example.
Fine, yes, because Claire's not here anyway.
So the first relevant one is, in fact, Paul, you may be able to have some input on this. Claire was asked, action number 18, to research cost of purchasing wine, cheese and snacks for the cheese and wine event. She was going to liaise with you. Have you got any update on that, Paul? Or?
I haven't got any figures. I know she was looking at them, so I know I can't report what the figures were. But do we have a date for that event yet?
No, the cheese and wine, I spoke to Claire about this and she said, with the amount of stuff going on now, it might be better to leave it to the autumn when, the lead up to Christmas with cheese and wine and people buying stuff like that. I said, from my point of view, I was happy with that. It seemed a sensible time of year to do it with Mumbles Fest coming up. And we'll have the summer fun days as well. And hopefully a bowls tournament and maybe some other events. It seems like a better time of year to do it. So are we all happy that that happens in the autumn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall I defer that until July?
July?
Yeah,
The next July meeting.
Oh, yes, let's discuss. Yes, absolutely.
Defer to July because we're off in August, aren't we?
Yes.
July. That's lovely.
Thank you, Ian.
That's fine. Right, the next one is number 26, and this is Councillor O'Connor, to explore opportunities for small businesses for the Small Business Week.
Yeah, no update.
No update. That's number 26. Do you want to defer that, Angela, for a while?
Yes, please, yeah.
So what till, when are we going to defer it to? April or May? Or?
Yeah, do you want to do it maybe, do you want to do it after Mumbles Fest?
After Mumbles Fest, yeah.
Defer to May then?
Yeah. Oh, no, after Mumbles Fest, do you want
No,
to
I
do
mean for the June meeting, I meant, rather than doing it.
Yeah,
To discuss it in June.
please, yeah, thank you.
Good.
When is that business week?
I don't know, actually.
Just Google him. I don't think there's much budget for this year, is there?
None.
So I think I think it's pointless wasting time over I can't seem to find it for a second.
While you do that one, shall I do the next one, Angela?
Please.
So the next one is number 28, which is key officers and councillors connected to events to meet with Paul Whittaker to discuss current and future expenditure. And I've got Councillor Marshall, Paul, and Claire allocated for that. There was an informal discussion, but there's going to be more of a formal discussion in February. So I don't know if any updates on that.
No, I've got no update on that at the moment.
How
Claire is away. So if we can defer that till next month, then we can get on.
What was that one, Paul?
Meeting with Paul about the SLA agreement we have with him with the to give some office traders.
Okay, I don't mind being involved in that.
Yeah, I'm happy, Fran, and I think it'd be quite nice if
I
Martin.
was gonna say, it might be useful for me to be involved in that one.
Yeah. So if we can include Martin and Angela in that as well.
Martin and Angela, right.
Because I've sort of been involved in.
Yeah.
Also, going back to Small Business Week, it is actually the 28th of April to the 4th of March. 4th of May. So based on that, do we want to defer the whole thing till next year, or do we actually want to explore it further for this year? I don't know realistically.
Have we got any money?
No. I think put it in the calendar as a possibility for next year. Because I
I
think
definitely would like to do something, to go through the year, but I really would like to do something around that.
yeah.
This cheese and wine thing we got would have been a good opportunity, but you know, the point that Rob is making, that sort of bouncing into everything. And I think we would be rushing things, but the big thing more than anything, we just haven't got any money.
No, and I think the cheese and wine, realistically, that'll probably have to be deferred potentially till next year again.
It could be, the thing is, that's not going to cost us any money to put on, because people would buy tickets to go to it.
Yeah.
So it's just the hire of Austin, which would cover.
And also, you know, sorry to be thinking on my feet here, this is maybe something that we could think about talking to Paul
I
about.
was just going to say that. We have a meeting with Paul. If we have that meeting sooner rather than later, we can mention to him about Small Business Week, see if he's got any ideas or if it's worth exploring it further.
Because
Cost.
I'm sure I'm not talking out of turn here, but you know, one of the things we're going to have to explain to Paul in this meeting is we got no money basically.
Yeah.
And so we're going to have to say to Paul, and I'm sure Paul could well be open to this. Look, we haven't got any money, but can we work together with you, maybe in identifying additional sources of funding?
Yeah, brilliant.
Just to clarify, Chair, shall I close the cheese, not the cheese and wine, shall I close the business one down
Well, it needs to be brought up with Paul Whitaker in that meeting that we have.
as well?
Yeah, so if
Okay, so I'll leave them both
Yeah, I
open.
won't close it down, but yeah, put it in there and then maybe.
maybe have or the Paul meeting if you
Transfer to Paul.
Yeah.
Okay. Good, thank you. The next one is, I don't know if anybody got any update, because it's this Thursday, I think. There was an action for Claire to obtain a quote for the Dragons Parade for St David's event. Did anything?
that never happened.
Should I just close that?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, that's passed, isn't it?
Well, we were told that the Dragon needed quite a lot of repair to it.
yeah, which I think was maybe I don't know. We definitely need to explore it for next year if there's any money to do something next year, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
And the last action is for yourselves again. No, it's for Rhiannon and Councillor Marshall, together with the RFO and events officer, to form a working group within the next 3 weeks to consider budget costs and identifying a school choir for participation at the event. Well, that's for St David's Day event as well.
That was for St David's.
No, was it? That might have been for the choir for Mumblesfest, was it?
No, because Karen will have to write to all the head teachers for that. This
Oh.
was for the Welsh event.
Yeah.
I don't know if Llwynderw School are coming down
I
to.
think they are, aren't they?
They are, well, brilliant.
So that's closed.
So that's closed.
Yeah.
So,
So that concludes the actions, Chair.
okay, thank you. Brilliant. Right, budget monitoring report. So I'm going to hand over to Paul for this.
Yes, got his hand up.
Oh, Tim, sorry, Tim.
Yeah, sorry, just trying to remember there's a dragon in Waterfront Museum at the moment. It's a Welsh dragon.
No, what this is, it's a handmade dragon. Kids go under and they parade as a dragon, which is owned by, I think, Mumbles Development Trust,
Okay.
and we paid for it.
Can I come in? I think I know what Tim's on about because I was down in the Waterfront Museum the other day.
Yeah,
there are
yeah,
a number
there
of
are
dragons.
over there.
There are a number of dragons down in the Waterfront Museum at the moment. The Chinese dragons, aren't they, really? I think maybe Tim was thinking, maybe could we use those? I don't know.
All right.
There's a Welsh one there.
It is
There is a
Welsh.
Welsh, yeah, there's an exhibition of sort of dragons there, isn't there? Like, you know, there's a number of Chinese
It's
dragons.
Chinese New Year.
No, there was a local group that made a Welsh one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I just thought, you know,
I was down there the other day, I saw them as well, and there's a number of dragons, there's a Welsh one, there's a number of Chinese ones as well, and
that's right. Yeah, I thought we might use, could use, I don't know, for the future.
But anyway, that's just.
It's the next year now, though, because I mean, it's 2 days, St. David's Day is Friday, so it's going to be a bit awkward to organise that by then. I know, it's crazy, isn't it, how this month has gone, and it's a long February. Okay, I'll hand over to Paul as he's here for the financial report.
Thanks, Chair. Not a great deal to report. I did circulate the budget monitoring report with the agenda. A lot of this is to the end of December, so there's a lot of things that have come through in January, like the Philips invoices for the Christmas lights. So we'll have that for in next month's report. We haven't received anything for the newsletter printing yet, so that'll have to come through. But I think there's likely to be an underspend on that because it's only one newsletter that's been printed this year. The community parties as well, that'll come through, showing an underspend at the moment, but that'll come through in January. And I did put a little bit about recommending environment between warm hubs and coffee with friends, but obviously that was discussed at the last council, so there's that can be ignored. That's already been resolved. But other than that, not much to report on the budget monitoring.
Paul, that's great.
Has somebody got any questions?
Just all of that, is that approved?
What's the top line of that? The heading of it.
Culture, tourism and communications.
No, above that.
Final budget 2024-25.
Final budget 2024-25. Angela's asking.
That's the next item, Chair.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, this is what we've got to spend for this coming year, I think.
Great. So there is actually money in there for a St. David's Day, something or other next year.
There is for this year as well. So at the end of this year, as nothing's been spent, that £750 is available to carry forward. So you'd have this year's money plus next year's money. You'd have £1,500 available for an event.
Okay, well that's good.
Hired onto another project.
Or hired onto another project.
Or
Yeah.
hired onto another project. Yes, yeah. Obviously, for committee to decide.
Okay.
Yeah. Good.
Thanks, Paul. Do you want to take us through the budget then?
Has Tim got a hand up, or was that from previously?
The C hand.
Yeah. Tim. There we go. Take a hand down.
Okay, right, okay. Okay, the next item then is the budget for next year. What I've done is I put this on the agendas for all committees this year, just so you can see what was approved at the budget council back in January. So this is the amount that's available to spend and the items that it's available for. So it's just over 89,000. Mumbles Fest has been transferred back into the committee as it was obviously separate in the current year. But that's really just now, so you can see what you got available, and then you can start making plans then early in the new financial year to put those things in place.
Yeah. As you can see, I mean, it goes across all the committees. We couldn't actually put anything new at this stage into next year's budget because there's no money. Simple as. Simple as. Okay, thank you very much, Paul. Anybody got any questions for Paul on the budget or anything to do with the finances?
Maybe just the Christmas trees. So Pickett Mead have obviously got living trees there, haven't they?
Yeah.
But nowhere else has got living trees. Will it be cheaper, and can we explore the option of the living trees in other places? So it might be cheaper for us, particularly going forward, we might save on that.
Yeah.
But I think when I spoke to Kerry, a lot of that money is actually, you know, the cherry picker and the lights and all of that. It's not necessarily just a summary thing.
Yeah, I'd say about half of it is actually buying the trees. So, you know, 3 trees, that's probably comes to about 5,000. And then the rest is actually put in, is the contractor putting the lights on and taking them off and taking the trees away.
Yeah. So, I mean, normally, I'm just thinking, is it worth saving for the West Cross one, you know, like a living tree up there earlier, so it starts to grow a bit before next Christmas?
Could I come in? I did mention something about this to Kerry. I have heard of this scheme, I'm sure it's been mentioned before, about leasing a tree, where we lease the tree And we have it for 2 or 3 years, and I think we can do this through, there's a Christmas tree farm, isn't there, down in the Gower?
There's 1 of 3 crosses.
Yeah, one of 3 crosses, big one. Where we lease it for 3 years, because the thing is, if we put a living tree in, it can go huge, can't it? And they put it in, and we have it for 2 or 3 years, which we pay a lease on it, and then they take it away and they bring up back another littler one.
Because the one on Newton isn't particularly big, and that's been there well over 10 years.
Yeah, like it's a nice size now, but when
Yeah.
it was really quite small.
Yeah.
I won't say what Margaret Thrush just described it as.
Well,
2 words.
All I'm trying to say, maybe we could look at various options.
Yeah.
Because, well, I don't know, is that if we put a living tree down in, I don't know, West Coast Common, is that going to be an issue? Like, I don't know. But you know, all I'm sort of saying, there are options there about rather than we pay the tree every year.
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yes.
Could this be added to the, because Kerry's already got an action regarding decoration. Could it be added to that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think what I'm saying is we need to look at the various options.
Yeah.
Because, you know, just paying for trees every year, and also I don't think it's a very environmentally friendly.
No, it's sort of thinking it's not environmentally friendly, but also it's going to cost us. Whereas if we can bring that down,
Yeah.
then we can freshen up the decorations or whatever. Instead, the tree is just always going to be there.
It's a significant outlay like that.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Can I do one more point, Chair?
Yes.
Talking to Kerry this week, it's great when Paul's here because he can answer all the questions. But I think ideally what would be good, because his budget report is forwarded to everybody a week ahead. If there are queries, if they could be forwarded to Paul and me copied in, so then I can answer questions in Paul's absence. Because I think Paul, going forward, is going to be at every 3 months. You're going to be at quarterly meetings, aren't you, Paul?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So in the other 2 meetings in the quarter, you know, even Kerry, who's got much more input than I have into these matters, sometimes without some warning can struggle to answer some of the questions really.
Let's have that as an action point then
To circulate.
to circulate. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks, Ian. Any other questions for Paul? Anybody?
No.
Thank you, Pablo.
Thank you, Chair.
You go and have a beer.
Thank you.
Cheers, Paul.
Thanks.
Cheers, Paul. See you soon.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll save the rest of the meeting.
Oh, brilliant.
Keep an eye on us.
Absolutely. Okay, if everybody's in agreement, I'm going to move Mumbles Fest to the last item because if we're discussing bands, artists, whatever, I'd like to go into a closed session for that because it might be sensitive. So if we can move over to Ball's tournament. Now, we didn't, I'd asked for, I think it was £1,000 or £1,500 to put this on. And as we know, we don't have any money, so that was denied. I spoke to Paul Relf, sings in the choir I play for, who's the City and County External Funding Officer. And he said, write to me, there may be £1,000 we can find you for something like this. So basically, my request to the committee is that I write to Paul, as he suggested, see if there's money, and if he comes up with money, we can use that for the hire of Southend Gardens, because the rest, like bars and food, will pay for itself. The trophy is up at the Mansion House for it, so it's just a question of getting Claire to organise the actual event with us then, and we'll put it on.
What is the £1,000 for to pay basically the council for the?
Yeah, we would hopefully get it, either free or for very little. But it's we've got to pay for Southend. It's council property, City and Council property, the Southend Bull Pitch, unfortunately. I know it does leave a nasty sting because we're trying to do something for tourism as well as culture and people's well-being.
We do it to charity as well, don't we?
Yeah, and we pay our council tax.
And we pay our council tax. I mean, RFD did say to me, write to DPD, Dave Price Dear, and ask if we can have it for nothing. and saying I've spoken to him about it.
We took it to lose by asking.
Yeah, first instance, and then there's money there to go towards putting on some type of entertainment there instead of paying.
Absolutely.
for the land.
Absolutely, because we could maybe have a band on or a DJ or something like that.
Yeah.
So just if I can just have your permission to follow this through and see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I just create that as an action, Chair?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, that's fine.
That's good.
Okay, the next thing is Mumbles Palette Jubilee. So I'm going to hand over to Tim for this.
Right, thank you very much. Well, potentially Martin could say something as well. It was a very short time to develop the idea and trying to speak to people as much as possible. But then I think because of funding issues, we would like to just focus on photography only, rather than visual arts, trying to cover many medium. So perhaps we even change the name to something like Mumble Photo Show, something like that. More clear what this is going to involve, and and we have a photographer for the MCC, Graham Smith. Yes, so he might be able to have some input in the process. Then I can still speak to Blaine Vivian whether they would like to help as well regarding the process. That's about it. Thank you.
Right.
Tim, is this where members of the public can actually take photos and submit them to be judged or on display?
The thing is, we've got a couple of ideas. Tim, we haven't really formulated these ideas. Like, for instance, right, I was involved in something some years ago called a photo marathon. If you have a look, they do them all over the world. That's right. And one of the things that we did say with kids, right, in one of the areas I worked in, we asked them, and especially nowadays, they've all got these, right? Ask them to take a photo along the themes of
Nature.
Well, no, the one we asked, which I thought was very, what does your community mean to you? What is your favourite bit of the community or something like that? And we had some really good stuff like that. Or another thing we asked them to do, this was in another community, we asked them, where would you like to see your community in 5 years' time or 3 years' time or something like that, right? And to just ask a photo, take a photo, like as I said, the one we did, which I thought we had a lot of good results with kids, was take a photo of your favourite bit of your community, and we had some really interesting stuff. Come back. It wasn't like the beautiful countryside or sort of stuff like that. Sometimes there was a picture of their cousin or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I just sort of thought that could be a theme, and then also we could have like different strands. Say for people more artistic things.
Yeah, like different categories to enter.
Different categories to enter, and then we could have an exhibition, say, in the hall here.
Display the work.
And then also we can obviously put things on as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Everyone can vote for a different category.
The feeling is we could do something like that. Involve the Glyn Vivian, probably involve the city and county as well, and probably do it for not a lot of money.
Yeah, and also it's quite nice because everyone gets involved. Like the kids would love that. I think they did something like that at Oyster School where, what does nature mean to you?
Yeah, something like that.
And that could be of various things and however they interpret that. But I think that's the beauty's in that, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, if we can use Ostrom Centre, then the cost will be really more manageable. Because before we were thinking of having 3-4 different locations, venues in Mumbles to showcase different arts, but now I think realistically perhaps trying to just use one space.
Yeah.
And also free really for us to organize anything.
It's at the centre of the village as well. It's got good
location.
Also, we might generate a lot of photos that we can use for publicity ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Austrian might charge us, but it will still just be a small amount. Yeah.
No, I can report there, Chair. Anything the council uses in the off stream, Elaine does keep a record of, so she knows. But if they don't charge us, we can't charge ourselves. So it would be in effect free use.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So
They charge us as city councillors, not as MCC.
Okay, on that note, what I'd like to suggest is that Martin and Tim, along with maybe Graham, explore this and next month come up with a more solid sort of thing to go.
We put it on the back burner, didn't we, really?
Yeah.
We're not getting the money for it.
Yeah, have you got a month that you're looking at for it?
We haven't thought of that. Have you thought of anything, Tim?
Hey?
Have you thought of a particular time of the year when we could do this? What would be the best time of the year?
Summer,
We'd have to look at other events, wouldn't we?
Summer or
What's
something?
July, August. Because
July,
it's going
August.
to be indoor, so you have a couple of days,
Yeah.
showcasing. Doesn't really matter if it rains or not.
Tim, I think your idea of summer is good because you've got all the holiday makers down here as well. People might be able to sell prints of these photos to holiday makers, and we could make that an option.
Yeah. We can also
Get some
charge as well.
And people can generate a bit of income for themselves as well that way. Like everybody likes to take a picture of Mumbles away with them, don't they? Or Gower. And can I just recommend that the money that we haven't used for St David's Day this year can be put towards that? How do people feel about that as a starting? It's only about 350 quid, isn't it, Paul?
750.
750.
Yeah.
I think it's 500 and then keep 250 back because I think Rhian is really keen to do a St David's Day event. But then
For next year.
and knowing how much like entertainment costs, I think we need to have a bit of money for that to make that happen.
Okay.
I think it's a low cost the art one.
Yeah.
I think maybe at this early venture, if we could say we use and underspend.
What do you think, Rhian?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, Ange. I do think that Tim's idea is great, and I really hope to see it come to fruition. But I also think that we really do need to focus on St David's Day as well.
There we are.
Yeah.
I mean, there is money that's going to be coming back to Mumbles Fest as well. And once we know and we have that, and we know the exact amount, that's something we can explore as well, because Tim and Martin's idea is a cost-effective one. It's a cheap one to put on. As like you say, everybody's got a camera phone. All kids have got, so anybody can enter. Really, it's a really good way of bringing the community on board with us and bringing everybody in the community can enter.
Yes. Yeah, every single person can. Regardless of age or it is a nice event, definitely.
If we say we will find some underspend, maybe we can use, as you suggested, 500, and then that means there's £1,000 for next year for St David's Day. And how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, it depends what we've got planned, really, isn't it? I mean, £1,000 seems a reasonable figure. I mean, we haven't really thought about it yet, have we? What we might do, or but yeah, we'll take 1,000.
I was just going to say, can I ask everybody, I'll probably email you later, but if you do a Google search of Porter Marathon Sheffield, it'll show you the sort of concept we've got in mind, really.
There we are, great. So we'll have a look at that. Okay.
Yeah, a couple of clarifications, Chair, would that be all right?
Yes.
So for the minute, who's Graham Smith? Sorry.
Graham Smith is the photographer we used for Mumbles Fest and for other events we put on, like the.
Thank you for that. And lastly, is the £500, is that a recommendation for full council at this stage, or not to be no recommendation?
We need to get it moving, don't we? So
make a recommendation.
It doesn't have to go to full council, does it, Paul?
Well, it will do, but I wouldn't at this stage. I'd wait until you got more detail on costs, and then you can take that recommendation to council.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. The next thing was future events. Anybody got any? I mean, I see this on here, and I'm thinking actually now it's on here. Why is it on here? Because we haven't got any money to put on it. So. But I'll skip over this one for the moment and not talk about.
I think we're gonna have to be going on with.
We've got enough to be going on with the moment, and as I say, we've got no money. So,
It can be future events which are in the budget, Chair, like things like St David's Day and Twinning and things like that. But it is quite early in the year to start detailed planning, so I think it can be deferred at the moment.
I think that can be deferred. I mean, Twinning is usually the Twinning Committee. Well, it's usually Pam and Carrie who decide what's happening with that, don't they? So, and I'm happy to let them. Okay, right. Okay, so the last thing is Mumbles Fest. Just before we talk about Mumbles, oh, Tim, sorry.
Sorry, just an idea. Not really kind of. I thought, is it possible to light up the lighthouse? We don't have money, I know, but for very, very, distant future, instead of lighting up some areas in Mumbles, why not just light up the lighthouse?
Right, I mean, that's something I've not thought of.
Because
we did think about lighting up the cliffs.
yeah.
And
because
we
the
faced
lighthouse
a
is
bit of.
more visible, isn't it? More visible, people can see from different corners of Swansea, and OED lights also cheaper to run as well.
The only thing I'd say is that the lighthouse is lit up because it's a lighthouse, so it does shine.
No,
So I mean,
you're gonna light up the whole building,
Lovely idea, Tim. I very much agree, and like I'd be worried maybe though, but maybe we got to be careful we don't light it up in the same way that Big Ben was recently lit up.
Yeah, well,
Not personally, but anyway, that's another thing.
yeah.
Yeah. That's just
So,
a thought. Thank you very much.
But the other thing, I think it'd be a lovely idea. I've seen some similar things, but we'd have to get a lot of permission because I would have thought Trinity House might have something to say about that as well. Because obviously it's a beacon for shipping and sort of stuff like that, so we'd have to get permissions and stuff like that. But again, I've seen they did something similar up in Merthyr some time ago when they did it with Carmarthen Castle. It was fantastic, to be honest, absolutely fantastic. And I've seen something very similar in Rouen in France as well, with the cathedral there, where they just made it. But great idea. We could look at it, but the lighthouse.
If you look at it from this side, it's quite lit up by that new big wheel anyway. Anyway, okay. So last thing on
Keep that thought. That's
yeah, exactly. I love these ideas coming through. This is what we need, is more discussion on things like this. Right. So the last thing is Mumbles Fest. Can I just take a vote that we go into closed session for this? Everybody happy to do that?
Stop recording.
Brilliant. We'll stop recording.
And we've got Jane Evans as well.
Is she still here?
She's not here, is she?
No, I think she's got,
Julia Evans.
that's Rian, that isn't it?
Julia
That's Rhian
Stevens.
is still, that's the
There was somebody else here.
There was somebody else here.
Yeah,
I mean-
sorry, I'm cooking Julius's tea because we came in late, so I am here, but I'm just cooking his tea.
Okay.
Sorry.
You look at something we'll have added then.
Aye.